Welcome to GFN Gaming. I'm Russ, and today we are revisiting the longest running cinematic kill team campaign in history. Maybe. Probably. It's unconfirmed. We've got 16 plus games in, however it's been a minute since the last one, so I'm diving back in with a classic. Wyrmblade versus the Blooded Into the Dark. I've got plans for the cinematic campaign and I want to finish the story with a bang, but it does take a bit of time to get the episodes together and out. So if you are a fan of these games, please let me know in the comments, or comment anything really. It all helps support the channel. But if you'd like to get early access to the videos or even add your own voice to the campaign, please consider joining the Patreon to support us even more. Today's episode features a Patreon voice and it's really good, and that could be you. Okay, episode 17.
It's all Schaefer. We've even found a lawsuit.
You found a what? Look, your signal is awful. Send your location through and I'll get someone to pick you up. I can't understand you.
Infuriating man.
This could be a problem. Lieutenant Colonel Schaefer. Aye, Geordie. Sit yourself down, lad. I've got an update from Sergeant Nixon, sir. There's something strange in Subdeck 3, sir. Nothing serious, but he wanted us to make a sweep. Did he now? Yes, sir. And you're armed, Geordie? Sir? I must make you my armed escort then, yeah. I'm very flattered. Yes, sir. And we're checking out something odd in Subdeck 3, right, Trooper? That's right, sir. Sergeant Nixon wants us to sweep the sanctum, make sure nothing's out of place. Out of place? That'll be your buddies, I expect. What? I don't understand. Your pals, lad. Those crazy three-armed loons you've been hanging around with, eh? Look, don't insult my intelligence, lad. I've been on to you from day one. Master Spy, you're certainly not Drock. Oh, I'm well aware of your boys piling in through the sanctum in Subdeck 3. In fact, I made damn sure that's where they'd come in. You see, Geordie, that's where I need them. Or bits of them. Sir, I don't. Blood, lad. That's the key. Blood shed in a temple to that corpse on Terra. Aye, that'll get things back on track. Sir, I don't think. You're not here to think, Geordie, lad. You're the unwitting shepherd in all of this, leading his flock to the slaughter. Your cult friends are pouring in now as we speak, but we're ready. And when the killing's done, Geordie, and you can smell the iron tang of blood in every level of this warren, well, it's a shame you won't be around to witness what comes after that. It's gonna be heavenly. I'm sorry. Don't look so nervous, lad. We're all traitors here.
Where is he?
He's not late yet. Give it time.
What was that? I heard something. What? Who's there? Geordie?
Calm yourself, Gregor. Our victory here is all but assured. On this night, we end the cult of the Emperor. Blood will flow and a new reign will begin.
You're not wrong there, champ.
It's an ambush! Get ready to fight!
Make him bleed.
Blood for the blood god! Bleed him!
Leading the blooded forces, obviously not officially, but officially really, we've got the enforcer, the traitor enforcer, Lieutenant Colonel Schaefer himself, armed with a bolt pistol and a power fist. Second in command in Schaefer's Blooded is the traitor chieftain, armed with improvised blade and plasma pistol. No room for an Ogren in this list. We've gone for the secondary choice of 2 traitor guards, all armed with lasguns and bayonets. There's always room for the thug in a melee list, so we've got 1 armed with a heavy club. More stealth than ambush still, we're going to take the Flenser, armed with skinning blades. Close to light or heavy terrain, this guy is a menace. We're not going full meta. The melter gun probably would have been weapon of choice to get rid of those Wyrmblade agents, but we've gone for a flamer and a grenade launcher. The pint-sized fabulous Bill, it's marvelous Mike, and he's being taken and he's giving the Butcher relentless at the start of the game. Speak of the devil and they will appear with a massive power weapon and cleaver and slice you to bits. It's the Butcher. Always taken into the dark, we're going for a Brimstone Grenadier, lasgun bayonet, and of course the Diabolic Bomb. Getting a frag and crack for free. Next up, of course, we're going to be taking the Commsman to get that +1 APL, can turn out being crucial in some key plays during a turn. I used to take this guy just to stop someone else being killed, but I've actually grown to love the reliability of that shotgun. Gotta take the Trench Sweeper. That's Schaefer's blooded list. Now let's have a look at the Wyrmblade going up against them. Their Locust may have broken the Patriarch's control, but there are many more cultists ready to take his place. Leading the Wyrmblade today is a power pick web pistol wielding leader. Replacing Hieronymus as the Locust is the poor Guard Sergeant. Twisted and deformed now, but no less brutal in combat, this is the Locust. Now, first in line for the favour of the Patriarch, we have the Sanctus Sniper, with his little gribbly buddy pointing out people. Next up, we've just got 3 Acolytes. These should be all shotguns, but they're as model, so we've got a couple of autoguns and a shotgun in there as well. Next up, we've got 2 Heavy Gunners. We've gone for a Mining Laser and a Seismic Cannon. But let's not forget about the normal gunners. We're also running a Flamer and a Grenade Launcher. Carrying everyone's favourite stick, it's going to be the Icon Bearer. It really is a very nice stick. Those are the teams, so let's get a quick look at the mission before we start the game. Having gotten the drop on the Wyrmblade, Schaefer's blooded team will automatically start with the initiative in turning point 1. They will also get to open D6 hatchways at the start of the game. TAC Ops are in play and will be revealed as and when they get scored. However, the mission will focus on the central area. Players will earn a victory point for each enemy operative that they kill within the central area, up to a max of 4 for Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows, etc, etc. In addition, once an operative dies within the central zone, the ritual site is activated. Whichever team then holds the active ritual site at the end of turning points 1 or 2 gets 1 victory point, up to a max of 4. These stack with the operative kills victory points, so this is a max of 4 each turn. Teams holding the ritual site in turns 3 and 4 will get 2 victory points. Teams will deploy as per the Critical Ops map pack in groups of 3, and here they are being deployed. And with the full deployment done, here's where we started and here is where we end up.
Finally himself, a vessel for the will of the gods. They demand blood, and he will spill it. In the name of the Lord of Murder, he will make his offering.
Schaefer activates the remote door access controls and doors across the kill zone crash open, causing panicked exclamations from the startled Wyrmblade operatives. As the blooded Flenser stalks forward, the Wyrmblade regain enough of their senses to send their own recon operative dashing forward. At an order from the Sanctus Sniper, the Wyrmblade operatives press themselves even further into the shadows. The blooded chieftain revels in the blessings of Khorne as Wyrmblade tunnel teams drill through the central barricade. Before the Traitor Guard surge forward, Schaefer calls out a kill order on the Sanctus Sniper. Taking the first move, the Flenser stalks forward. Back over to the Wyrmblade, and 2 neophyte Brood Adepts make a break down the corridor. Looking to head them off before they can outflank the Traitor Guard, the chieftain races forward. 2 more Brood Adepts act next. 1 races forward towards the right flank, the other moves between cover into the central area. Racing towards where he hopes the combat will be the thickest, the Thug moves forward. The Neophyte Gunner moves next, hoping to bring his Flamer to support the Wyrmblade operatives storming the right flank. Back to the Traitor Guard, and the blooded Butcher races forward. Awkwardly stowing the Seismic Cannon, the Heavy Gunner hobbles forward, slamming into cover in the central area. The blooded Gunner with Grenade Launcher slams next to the hatchway and kicks the door open with a grunt. The beast that was the Sergeant, the new Locust for the Wyrmblade, races forward on the right flank. Schaefer exposes his flesh as the corpseman sidles up to him, injecting him with experimental drugs that feel like fire in his veins. Casually strolling forward, the Sanctus repositions and sets his sights. going on guard and waiting for one of Schaefer's men to stray too far from cover. Looking to make use of his bombs, the Brimstone Grenadier races forward next to the thug. Clumsily staggering forward, the heavy gunner with mining laser repositions near the grenade launcher. Schaefer barks out an order, and two of the Traitor Guard troopers spring into action, racing into the room ahead of them, looking to meet the oncoming Wyrmblade forces storming their right flank. Looking for a shot but not quite able to get it, the neophyte gunner with grenade launcher repositions next to the barricade. Clamping their shield into place, the trench sweeper races forward to lockstep with the traitor chieftain. The icon bearer moves forward with the heavy gunner, resting a hand on the mutant's meaty shoulder, and plants the icon. The traitor commsman dashes forward, yelling out motion positioning data to the chieftain, readying him for his next move. The Wyrmblade leader races to join the right flank as Schaefer makes his first move, joining his chieftain in the push forward, and the flamer casually moves into the room ahead. No shots fired in this first turn of combat. Let's have a look at what's happened in Turning Point 1. With no kills in the ritual site, it's not yet active, so no victory points at all for the mission yet. As far as TAC ops go, Assassinate Target is the only active one, and the Sanctus Sniper still lives, so no victory points at all as we move into Turn 2. Into Turn 2 now, and both players were going to get a command point, taking the Blooded up to 5 and the Wyrmblade up to 3, and then it's a draw on the initiative, so the Wyrmblade will take the initiative. Eyeing the grenade launcher from across the room, the Grenadier calls out a glory kill on him, and the Wyrmblade once again press themselves into the shadows, hiding before they strike, and Schaefer feels himself warmed in the blessings of Khorne. No secondary commands are issued besides killing the Sanctus Sniper, and the Wyrmblade are able to act first, catching the Blooded off guard. Moving through the barricade due to the writhing ingress their tunnel teams made, the gunner with grenade launcher repositions and fires a frag grenade into the Blooded mob in the next room. The vicious explosion catches 4 of the Traitor Guards centering around the Brimstone Grenadier. However, all escape unscathed apart from one of the troopers, who is heavily injured but does survive. The Traitor Guard survive the attack, more sure than ever that Khorne is truly with them, as at a nod from the leader, the gunner slinks into the shadows. Sent forward by Schaefer, the trench sweeper leaps from cover and races forward, firing into a neophyte brood adept with his shotgun. At such close range, the adept has next to no chance to survive and is incapacitated with a single shot. Responding to the sound of the shotgun, the heavy gunner dashes backwards and fires the mining laser wildly down the corridor towards the trench sweeper, who clings to the shield and mutters a prayer to the Lord of Murder to spare him. Apparently sated, Khorne blesses the Traitor Guardsman, and he yet lives as Schaefer moves to the end of the hallway and bellows at the trench sweeper to fire again. Injured, the trench sweeper isn't as accurate, and the brood adept is able to walk away from the shot, although heavily injured in the process. On the right flank, a brood adept races to the barricade, readying a blast charge, and hurls it at the Flenser, who raced ahead just a bit too far and is now out in the open and in range of the attack. The device designed to clear rubble and break rocks makes quick work of the Flenser. When the smoke clears, nothing remains. It might seem impossible, but the brood adept then slinks into the shadows. Looking to remove the Brimstone Grenadier and the threat he represents, another adept surges forward and fires with a shotgun past the thug into the Grenadier, who manages to fling himself to the side, narrowly avoiding being incapacitated, although he is heavily injured. Now within range, the thug darts forward towards the brood adept, who drops his shotgun and pulls out his cult knife. The two exchange blows, however the brood adept is ultimately dispatched by the thug, activating the ritual site. He then charges through the hatchway right into the gunner. The injured brood adept stumbles forward into the trench sweeper, able to outmatch him in combat and incapacitates him, but not before he implants the Traitor Guardsman with Genestealer DNA. The commsman boosts the Grenadier, and then the icon bearer takes a few steps forward and once again plants his banner. The Brimstone Grenadier tries to race forward to throw his diabolic bomb at the Sanctus. However, now injured, he's unable to make it, and so the corpseman instead races in to support the other guardsman. Sensing the desperation of the Brimstone Grenadier, the Locust races forward. Hearing the inhuman barks and grunts of the Locust, the Butcher takes up a defensive position behind the crate, ready to charge. The heavy gunner with seismic cannon dashes and goes on guard, as the boosted Brimstone Grenadier races forward and throws his diabolic bomb at the brood adept. The homemade explosive is deafening in the confined space. The Brood Adept is torn apart and flames wash over the locust. However, the enhanced body of the former Guard Sergeant is strong and he survives relatively uninjured. Looking to ensure the Wyrmblade's control of the central area, the leader races forward, grabbing cover in the center. The gunner with grenade launcher edges around the hatchway, avoiding the seismic cannon's overwatch, and fires a frag grenade at the heavy gunner and leader. The explosion echoes in the tight corridors of the subdeck. However, the gunner is able to avoid the killing blow, hiding behind the barricade, taking some damage, but the leader is unharmed. Tracking his movement, the Sanctus sniper levels his rifle and activates his speculative targeting system. Able to track the target now through the obscuring terrain, the Sanctus aims and fires a devastating round, punching through the heavy wall, straight through the gunner's torso, taking the Traitor Guardsman out of action. With a surge of action, the Brood Adept gunner activates ahead of the Traitor Guards and races forward to install a power siphon on this power generator. With no more activations, the Blooded activate a number of their troops all at once, able to avoid Overwatch. And then the Traitor Chieftain races forward, dispatching this injured Brood Adept, and that's the end of the turn. Turning point 2 is in the bag, so let's have a look at what happened. Heavy losses on both sides, however, with at least one kill in the ritual site, the central area is now valid for being held, which the Wyrmblade do, so they get 1 victory point on primaries at the end of turn 2. The Blooded also score 1 victory point for this kill, which was already added to their tally. The Wyrmblade have installed the device but need to hold it for 2 turns to max it out, and they have implanted 1 enemy operative so far. The Blooded just have the 1 secondary objective active so far, and sadly for them and Khorne, the Sanctus still lives. On to turn 3. On to turn 3, both sides are going to get a command point before we go into the all-important turn 3 initiative roll-off. The Blooded will break ties, but they won't need to, and they win initiative. Schaefer issues a glory kill on the gunner with grenade launcher. And once again, the defensive Wyrmblade are going to slink into the shadows as far as they can get. The Blooded feel the blessings of Khorne, with the Chieftain feeling the direct gaze of his god, and the Sanctus orders his troops to stalk the Chieftain from the shadows. Charged by the direct attention of his god, the Traitor Chieftain flies forward in a rage. Unable to target the Sanctus sniper, he instead levels his plasma pistol at the heavy gunner, allowing the coils to overcharge, and fires. The gunner is there, and then he isn't. Sensing his prey close at hand, the former Guard Sergeant, now Locust, pounces from the shadows into the unprepared Traitor Guardsman. First, he dispatches the Brimstone Grenadier and then continues his charge into the Butcher. The combat is brutal. The Butcher is felled, however the Locust is injured in the process. Blood flows freely from open wounds on its chest as it continues to bear down onto the petrified Traitor Guardsman. With his gods watching, the thug swings wildly at the neophyte gunner with his heavy club. Taking him out of action, he then wheels to face the injured heavy gunner and charges towards the barricade. Only then does he feel the burning sensation, realizing he was implanted with something in his combat with the gunner. His head throbs from whatever poison this was, but nothing will stop him ransacking the Wyrmblade lines. Despite calling for the leader to be stalked, the Sanctus can't take any chances. A well-placed shot and the Traitor Chieftain is no more. Locked in combat with an impossible foe, the 2 traitor troopers disengage from the Locust and race to control the ritual site. As they charge into the central room, the neophyte leader stalks calmly up to the thug, wielding his power pick, and attacks. With 1 swing of the mining tool, the thug is dispatched, and the blood soaks into the metal grating below their feet. The leader then ducks behind the barricade out of sight. The Flamer then moves forward, looking to take the Locust out of action. He loses some accuracy trying to avoid hitting the other Traitor Guardsman, however the Locust is able to capitalize and avoids taking any damage. As the flames die down, the heavy gunner dashes through the barricade and fires on the troopers with his seismic cannon. Silent to all but the traitor guardsmen caught in its sights, for whom the sound is overpowering. It proves too much to bear, taking another of the blooded out of action. Looking to clip the last few wounds off the heavy gunner, the corpseman makes a dart to get line of sight and fires with his lasgun. Not built for combat, the corpseman does score a few hits, however the heavy gunner's armor holds true. Looking to clear the central room of traitors, the gunner with flamer moves forward, abandoning his installed device to fire on the last trooper. Already injured from the frag grenade, the trooper is not able to withstand the heat and is taken out of action. Worried about losing the ritual site, Schaefer himself races into the central zone. As he does, he sees the icon bearer race to hold the installed device. With a prayer on his lips, the commsman levels his lasgun at the locus and fires. Las beams punch through the locus and it falls lifeless to the ground as the commsman pushes forward towards the ritual site, now slick with blood. And with the death of the locus, we are at the end of turn 3, so let's have a look at what's happened. With the ritual site active, the Wyrmblade hold it and would get 2 victory points, however they also scored 3 kills, so are capped at 4 victory points, so they'll get 1 victory point for the primary for holding the ritual site. As mentioned, they also get 3 victory points for their kills in the ritual site, to the traitor guards 1. For secondaries, the Wyrmblade also get a victory point for installed device, however they killed their stalk target, so nothing there, and the Sanctus still lives for assassinate target, so no victory points there. The Blooded do get 1 victory point for rob and ransack, although with the thug's death, they won't get a second. On to the final turn, and both sides will get a command point, and the Blooded win initiative, so they'll take the first activation. Under the watchful gaze of the Lord of Murder, Schaefer levels his bolt pistol and dispatches the heavy gunner with seismic cannon with ease, racking up another kill for the Blood God. Flexing his hand under the power fist, energy crackles and he barrels forward, charging into the barricade, and he swings wildly at the neophyte leader, rage almost completely clouding his thoughts now. Guided by the Lord of Skulls, his fist crunches into and through the leader, completely pulping his body in the process. Dropping his seismic cannon in horror, the heavy gunner flees from Schaefer as the commsman buffs the flamer and darts into the ritual site. The smile on his face is almost audible as the Sanctus sniper swaggers forward, targeting Schaefer. As he levels the scope, Schaefer dives behind the barricade. Readjusting, the sniper fires through the crates, however Schaefer is able to avoid taking any damage and he barks out a mocking laugh that echoes throughout the chamber. The corpseman races into cover in the ritual site as the icon bearer stands firm to hold the installed device. Unable to find any targets, the flamer just races to hold the ritual site. And that's the end of the turn and the game. Let's have a look at what's happened. The traitor guards scored 2 victory points for 2 kills within the active ritual site, and they do now hold the site at the end of the game, scoring another 2 victory points to the max of 4. They didn't, however, get any victory points for assassinate target. The Wyrmblade get 1 victory point for stalk target, and they also get a 2nd victory point for installed device, having held it for 2 turns now. So despite being down on the primary mission points, they do win the game 10-7 for a Wyrmblade victory. What that victory means in the grand scale of the cinematic campaign, though, is yet to be revealed.
I'm just not sure.
Not sure about what?
It feels wrong.
You might have to be a tad more specific, Silonius. Our cup overfloweth with ill-fated ventures as of late.
You sound like a dramaturge, Hieronymus. Speak plainly.
Careful, Silonius. Don't forget who it was that freed you from the mental shackles of our former master.
This would be the former master that is now relentlessly hunting us, yes? The one that has meter-long talons for fingers.
Yes. That's the one.
Yes, well thanks for that.
In position, sir.
Copy that, guard. Hold for now. Keep to the shadows.
Got it. Over and out.
I don't understand why Schaefer gave us her location. I mean, I know why, but why?
I thought you turned him.
That's what worries me, Silonius. This is all him. I had to cut my strings once already. I don't intend to be a puppet again.
We can still call it off. They still haven't seen us cut our losses.
No, this could be good for us. We have the drop on them, they have the supplies that could help us get us off this rock. A victory would be good for morale as well.
All true.
Also, how the hell did Schaefer break our communications scrambler so easily?
I mean, Gart did his best, but he's a digger, really. All of them are.
That's always the excuse. Oh, sure, I need a hole digging and they all step forward, but when I ask them to set up an unbreakable comms network, they just plug in a Drocking landline. God knows how they secured the headquarters. Ugh, claymores all pointing the wrong way, I dare say. I deserve better than them, Silonius.
So, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna wait for now, see if she shows up. Tell me, what did you do before the cult before?
We've never really talked like this before. I was an engineer. I kept the clock running. How about you?
Human resources.
Huh.
There she is. But why is Schaefer giving her to us?
What's the plan?
Let's take them. Send a signal.
Thank you if you've made it this far. Please comment and subscribe and let me know if you're enjoying the cinematic campaign. It's a great joy to film. I do love the games. Yeah, let me know if you're enjoying them and I'll see you in the next video.